Like, what sort of challenges do you think that women have to go through in comedy that's different, say, to like what men have to deal with? Like, what are the, aside from, I know we mentioned the kind of when you walk on stage, that initial sort of, oh, but like aside from that, is there anything else that you think women have to deal with that's different to men?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know any other male comic who gets sent dick pics, for example, and also it's, you know, the kind. I mean, obviously, my comedy is mainly online. You know, I've got I put my comedy on Twitter, and I've got big following for it. So, you know, I get a lot of abuse online, and, you know, a lot of it is quite misogynistic. You know, it's about your appearance, and so, you know, sometimes it's nice stuff. Sometimes it's like, I don't think you're funny, but I would bang you. But then sometimes it's, you know, you're ugly and you're not good looking enough to be on Twitter. I don't think men get that. So I think as women, you do get a lot of stuff pointed at your appearance, which can be a bit exhausting. So I think that's something that I don't know any male comedian who deals with. But I think most female comics would be like, yeah, yeah, we've all been sent a dick pic by some angry fan. Well, not fan, angry anti-fan.
Fan.
Yeah.
Such a weird. That's such a weird like thing to do. Like from like a psychological perspective, to be angry but also send in a dick pic. I can't quite get my head around that.
Well, yeah, like so. Last night I got one from this guy being like, "You know, you're not funny, right?" And then he was like, "You should." And then he just sent a picture of his completely naked of him with his penis, being like, "This is what you should be doing."
Right.
Okay.
That's so strange. I mean, maybe actually, I thought of one male comedian who might get dick pics. What about Tom Allen?
Maybe. I don't know if he gets dick pics. I don't know if he does. I'm not sure gay men do that to other gay men. I think it's just. I mean, obviously everyone sends dick pics, but I mean, I don't think they do because when I get dick pics, it's not usually from men who are like, "Hey, I just want to get to know you." They're usually trying to make you feel crap in some way or some sort of power. But I mean, some of the photos are really silly. So, you know, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, I was about to ask if you considered just posting them immediately, but then that's probably definitely in violation of some Twitter rules. You can't post people naked. Probably for good reason. I mean, that's not to say that that's not a good rule for them to have.
Yeah.
Because you could just start outing the people. I mean,
you could make their penises public.
Like, yeah, exactly. Or yeah, I'm not sure Twitter would enjoy that. Maybe you can start like a website where female comedians like out men who send them dick pics.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, so I think that's something that's peculiar to women. Also, I mean, another thing is it's getting so much better. But there is, you know, every female comic will tell you about the time when they were, you know, you go on a bill, you're put on a bill and you're the only female there. And equally, you're told you can't go on a bill because there's already a female comic on. So it's this kind of sort of putting them up as a niche category, which is ridiculous when we're 50% of the population. So that happens quite a bit. And then I've noticed, you know, when I go on to do sort of radio things, like some kind of comedy section about the news, they don't put me on with a man, they put me on with a woman. Because there's this idea of like, oh, well, you know, let's keep the women comedy together. So there's little things like that which are a bit of a hindrance, but it's getting a lot better. And I think what's good is we're in a time where people are going, oh, oh wow, women can be funny. So that and people want to prove that they see that women can be funny, so they're pushing women forward and they're saying, look, we think women are funny. Here's a funny woman, and I think you can take advantage of that as a woman and be like, yes, I'm getting on the funny woman train.
Do you think there is a difference in like the style or like the sense of humor? Like, I'm not saying that female comedy should be like a niche in itself, but do you think there is like some sort of niche to carve out as for like female comedy or women's comedy, or do you think it should just be contained within the whole? Because obviously there's lots of different like sub genres of types of comedy. Like there'll be people who are doing like political stuff. There'll be people who are doing maybe like men sort of things. Do you know what I mean?
Lads.
Yeah, comedy.
And I think that's a good point. I think another reason why sometimes women struggle in the industry is because a lot of TV comedy, and I don't mean sitcoms, but I mean sort of panel shows, is very much geared towards male humour. There's a kind of with those shows like Mock the Week and stuff, there is a sort of competitiveness of, being the loudest, sort of out joking each other that women don't do so much. I think women's humour is different and isn't quite so sort of aggressive. I'm trying to think of not using these gendered words, but like aggressively competitive. So I think it is there is definitely a sort of different streak to male humour, or there can be, and that's kind of backed up by a lot of the programmes that are made by men. And to be fair, back in the day, kind of it was mainly men that you were seeing on screen anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that bad to use like the gendered words, because that's kind of just more. Yeah, that's just a better word for describing the sort of style of humor on there. And like you said, it's got something about the fact when you have, I don't know, like a bunch of guys on stage, like they'll be kind of constantly one up each other. But what would you say that like then the female style of comedy is? So if you're classifying, at least to some extent, that like male comedy is more about this, at least on those panel shows, like it's competitive and sort of quick fire and always trying to one up each other. Like, how would you describe female comedy then?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Even that makes me cringe. I mean, I guess it can be more sort of conversational rather than sort of banter. But it also depends on the comic. I mean, Catherine Ryan is amazing at those sort of quick fire put downs. She's brilliant. And there are comics that are just, regardless of gender, are really good at that. I think sort of with society, I think women have got a bit more used to, just because of how we've been brought up, of sitting back and letting the men do the jokes. So women are a bit more like, hey, okay, no, look, I've got a joke, but don't worry, I don't need to listen to it. And I think it's a lot of female comics I know, they took longer to get into the game of comedy. Like you get male comics who started really young in their teens. Look, when I was coming up onto the circuits, a lot of the women who were starting were considerably older than the men that were starting. And I think because it takes longer for women to go, oh no, wait, I can be funny. Actually, I'm really funny. And I think women are very good at being funny with each other. And sometimes in society, I do think it's a lot different now. But certainly in my teens and 20s, you weren't there to be funny. You that wasn't kind of the perceived role. It was men were funny to impress women, and women laughed.
Hopefully. Not always.
Not always.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the podcast.
Don't forget our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, can both be found in the links in the description below. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's the best way to help us grow. Until next time, thanks for listening. Screw the hedge funds.
You can make as many rules as you want, but if there's no teeth behind them, what's the point?
Well, like Citadel is potentially just gone in a few months. It feels like financial institutions, that they are all laughing at us by buying GME. Screw the hedge funds. Like, I will lose my entire investment if it brings them down.
Why on earth, last May, could you buy the entire company for $200 million?
What's been happening on Reddit and in social media and in the marketplace has never been seen before.
I argue that nothing is off the table. There is nothing off the table when dealing with the volumes of money in something as big as the United States stock market.
The hedge funds have clearly underestimated a group of people raised on Friday night World of Warcraft raids.
Dark pools, they're another mechanism to manipulate and cheat. Mainstream journalists don't say these things for a number of reasons. One is their sources are the people that I'm talking about, and so they can't call somebody a crook.
Super Stonk and the other communities that have emerged are a hive mind, the likes of which we have never seen before. It's madness and brilliance, insanity and genius all rolled into one. It's very possible that Citadel will be gone in a few months. And not just Citadel, but the entire financial system has the potential to come crashing down. These crooks continue to gamble recklessly with the world economy, and this could be the moment that they finally get their justice.